Every time Nintendo throws down one of these Indie World showcases, it's getting harder and harder for them to really surprise me, really just take my breath away. That sounds so cheesy. This time there were two games in particular that really stood out to me. One was of course Eastward, which we've already talked about. The other one here is called The Tourist. Now I have to admit here, the first thing that caught my eyeballs and managed to take their undivided attention away was the fact that it seemed to be borrowing so heavily from Star Tropics, an old NES game. The concept, the look, even the fact that it's based around islands, any of these can be taken away as why this kind of feels like Star Tropics 2. I think it's a lot more than that though, and I also think it's doing enough to separate itself, in fact more than enough. So today we're going to go over what we've seen so far. Mind you, it's not a lot. Mainly it's some game explain footage that they caught off screen and the main trailer. Although we do have a little bit of a hint here, or even more than a hint, that the game is going to be open world. There were two words in particular that I just did not expect when I was researching this game. And those two words that popped up were non-linear and open world. That's more than two words. Now I'm actually going to play a quick clip here from Game Explain's off-screen footage of the game, and just take a quick listen to what you hear in the background.
You don't have to, it's a non-linear game, it's open world.
It's a non-linear game. It's open world. And that's what I heard there. But what does it actually mean as far as the gameplay goes? Well, the Tourist seems to be broken up into two main parts. There's the overworld that you explore, I guess the islands, and here you're gonna get like quests, you're gonna talk to NPCs with some puzzle solving to basically try and make your way into the monuments. I believe that's what they're called. Now these monuments, consider them to be like Zelda dungeons without the combat, I guess. Well, there's still combat, but it's not the same. You can forget that Master Sword. You can forget that yo-yo, Star Tropics fans, because it seems the best weapon you have here, well, is your brain. Let's give an example here. So there is a desk lamp with a bendy neck, and it basically shines its light at you. Now, you can't do any damage to it, and technically, it's not really damaging you either. But the way that you defeat it is by getting it to shine its light, its blue light, on 4 red panels on the ground. It is a timed puzzle, so you will have to make it to each of the 4 light spots in time, and then the thing will implode, and you'll basically be able to pick up its headlamp. From here, you can actually throw that head, and as you're going to notice, it has an arc to where it's throwing, so you can get an idea of where it's going to land. We actually haven't seen a huge amount of examples of different puzzles inside the monuments, so it will be interesting to see where they take them in the future, how far they extend out that idea. What about the overworld? Well, that appears to be broken into different islands that you're going to be exploring. To get from island to island, you're going to need travel brochures. On the islands themselves, you're going to be filling up a to-do list, a quest log if you will. These can range from just getting into a monument or taking a picture of a certain thing, because you actually can buy a camera from the shop. A camera is really cool though. I don't know. When someone adds a camera to a game, I'm just like, ooh, add 10 points to entertainment please. It seems to be even more stuff to do around this world that I'm not even talking about. You know, stuff like that arcade that we've seen that has their fast game in it, an arcade version of that. That's really cool. Like, it's a 16-bit version of their game to look like F-Zero, which was meant to look like F-Zero in the first place. You get the idea. It'd be unfair for me to walk away from this conversation without mentioning how beautiful this game looks to me. Like, just, first of all, the blocky graphics. I love them. Blocks are back in at the moment. You think about Minecraft, just taken back off. It's taken the world by storm again, and I think they're knocking at the door at the right time with this game. They also mentioned the game is going to run at 60 frames per second and 1080p docked, which, with the crisp look to these blocky graphics, I think it's going to be extra sexy. And then we have to mention that depth of field blur that they're adding to everything, which I think is why it gives me that 3D Dot Game Hero vibes. I mean, apart from the look, they really kind of lean into that, and I think it adds that extra, dare I say the word sexy, to the way things look again. And lastly, because I have to shut up about the way this game looks, the lighting is fantastic as well. Oh, and the weather effects. Oh, and the way the glass shimmers across these shops as you're walking past them. Everything. By the looks of it, you won't be playing with multiple people. According to the eShop description, it's just a one-player game. Now, I am definitely going to be keeping an eye on the Tourist when it releases later this year, in November actually. Although I've got to say that my wallet is already under a pounding from the amount of games releasing, and I am doubting I'm going to keep up, so we'll see. Now make sure to let me know what you thought of the Tourist, and if it wasn't much, perhaps let me know your favourite indie from the showcase. Also, if you enjoy look forwards like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I do stuff like this all the time, and like the video if you enjoyed it. And just remember that for great Nintendo entertainment, you can count on me. It looks a lot like Star Tropics, like a lot like Star Tropics. It not even in looks, it feels, it touches, it's scent.